Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. We're already through July. So week ended and month ended on July 29th, Friday. And it was a solid week for markets overall. The indices were the indices were pretty strong, especially the back half of the week is basically where all the performance came from. Nasdaq was up 4.4%, S&P up 4.3, IWM up 4.3. So kind of all of these exactly the same. And then the Dow trailed a little bit, up 2.9. Oil had a nice bounce. Bonds were pretty flat. So you could sort of see, like, again, these bond yields have more or less stabilized the last couple months, and you're seeing that the market has basically found its footing and has traded pretty easily. I mean, there have been dips, but they all basically get bought. So yeah, I think we had a bunch of economic stuff happen sort of midweek. I guess we more or less confirmed the recession with I think it was negative 9 tenths. I forget, it was like around down 1% for GDP on Q2. Is the first reading that will get revised, but I mean it's not going to get revised to a positive number. So um, second straight quarter, basically a recession. People are arguing on technicalities that it's not, but for common speak, it's a recession. Makes sense. Been in a bear market, all this stuff like that. Uh, University of Michigan consumer sentiment is at all-time lows. I mean, that doesn't happen unless you're in a recession. So yeah, I mean, we can cherry pick all the data points we want, but consumer economy, consumers at all-time lows. What don't really need to overthink it too much. So if we check out the leadership stocks actually did pretty well, with the exception of, I think, yeah. So Facebook was down. All these guys have sort of been reporting earnings the last couple weeks. I think Netflix was a couple weeks ago, and then um, had Amazon. Amazon traded up after earnings. Apple was like fractionally up after earnings, kind of mixed. Facebook was down after earnings or whatever, but as a group, they were up 5%, so slightly better than the Nasdaq itself. Um, we'll see if they can sort of maintain the momentum, but like I said, we kind of got a big bounce the back half of the week after we were sort of through the Fed and through the GDP and all of that stuff. Just buyers basically came in and bought stocks because that's what they wanted to do. Um, so if we look at our breadth just on the market as a whole, okay, basic materials had a really big week, up 9%, and so did utilities, up 6. This is on a median basis. Industrials were also not bad, up 5%. But you see, even like with a big week from the Nasdaq, median tech stock wasn't even up 2%. It's kind of weird. Uh, Financials up 3% is a solid week for them. Services up 2.4%. Services might struggle a little bit just because you know equities are sort of it's kind of a weird thing where you have to sort of price in a recession, but also not really, and then some people only trade off the Fed exclusively. Like, okay, the recession is bad, but if it looks like it's coming, then the Fed is going to stop doing what it's doing, and that's good overall or whatever. So, there's a lot of like cross currents to sort through, and everyone in the market is trying to make sense of it one way or another. Um, As far as subsectors, big week from solar. They got a basically new handout, if you want to call it that. And there's a new bill that has a bunch of stuff for renewables and all this stuff like that from Congress. So they got some free money for them. Okay, big week from silver, up 15%, and nukes up 20%. Then you sort of see like all the oil and gas stuff that was part of basic materials. But I mean, not a bad week. There's okay, we got 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 56 sectors up over 5%, and even, some semiconductor sectors. We really want, like, okay, better, there's more semi stuff in here. Really want the semis and the tech stuff to be leading, in my opinion. It's kind of messy with all of this. If the materials trade is going to be making a comeback again, you might see some flows back out of tech. It had started to sort of shift, but yeah, I guess it's just something to pay attention to. And the worst performing sectors, yeah, there's not a whole lot on here. I mean, we had a couple things from healthcare that dragged it down. I don't know if there was some like news that dragged down just like a specific set of these. Let's see who's in here. Okay, I don't know what's going on with them. Okay, so not too bad from a breadth perspective on by industry. If we look at breadth by market cap, 1 to 5 billion was up 5.1%, and 5 to 10 billion, 7%. Really strong from them. 10 to 50 billion, up 4.2. Oops. 50 to 100 billion, 3.95%. Did I click on the right thing? Yeah, 50 to 100 billion, 3.95%, and 100 billion plus 3.14%. So pretty good. Everything up at least 3%, with some of the smaller capped stuff up as much as 5, 6, 7%. So, pretty broad rally. Like I said, you sort of saw a shift after after Wednesday, where we rallied from Wednesday through to the end of the week. I know that the indices only printed sort of like 4% for performance for the week, but the rally from Wednesday on sort of made it seem a lot stronger than that. We started the week a little bit flat, mixed, but that was kind of just waiting for the Wednesday stuff to happen before the trading week. The trading week started on Wednesday for the most part. And then for intelligence, we have, okay, this week, okay, commodity index, short miners, and short emerging markets. Okay, so I mean, not a whole lot here. And actually, this stuff is not really traded that often, so I'm just going to ignore it. And let's see on the downside what we've got. This. Okay, Fang rated bearish. Yang rated bearish, which is bear China, so bullish China. Ultra mid caps bearish. Ultra S&P bearish. Okay, fintech bearish. Okay, a lot of stuff rated bearish for this week. Probably going to have to pay attention for some pullback from just the market in general, maybe retrace and give back some of the most recent gains, and then uh, see if maybe once a little bit of a pullback happens, if the buyers come back, then you probably say the trend is changed to up. But yeah, we'll see how it shapes up for this week. We do have the market got kind of flagged overbought for by Friday close. So I mean the stats for that are kind of mixed, I would say. I mean, kind of soft, but not like crazy soft. Yeah, and overbought on the, let's see, back to 6 months. I mean, yeah, overbought is 1% pullback or something, but nothing really to go crazy about. Although some of these ones have produced more than that, than just like small pullbacks. They've created big pullbacks, but really we haven't been oversold since May. So none of this stuff in the summer produced oversold signals, but we do have a couple overbought signals floating around in here, and we got another one on Friday. So we'll see how the week goes. For the month, August is kind of muted. Basically a flat month. July is typically strong, and it was pretty good July this year. But yeah, so August trading starts on Monday. We will check back in next week, see how we're going to finish out the summer trading. Good luck out there.